Welcome to the Deal That's Happy Friday. I actually started this earlier for the Zoom, so I'm starting over because of the YouTube channel. But, anyways, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, head over to the reitoolbox.com to submit your leads live for me to call here. If you are already in the private chat, you know this is take two. My bad. I'm not perfect, but we're going to start all over again. The first property is in Crystal River. And what I was saying about this is the person that submitted it mentioned that the agent does not accept, they're not accepting any offers. Let me pull it up here. They're not accepting any offers unless the property is viewed in person. This is going to be a common objection, not just real estate agents, but also homeowners that say, well, how can you make an offer without looking at it? Or I want you to take a look at it before you accept an offer, right? So this property, it's really rough. It looks like there may have been some flood damage here. Remember, last year, Florida got smacked back to back with Milton and Helene Hurricane Milton and Helene. So a lot of flood damage properties are still out there. But this person is asking 80 and needs everything. All right. So let's give him a call and let's see. And then I'll tell you a little bit more about how I talk about that because, you know, looking at it in person, is it on lockbox? Is it, drive by or walk around? There's, we want to find out. But it's been listed for 56 days and there's only 62 saves. That's not too good. Okay. All right. So let's give him a call. Let's see, Mr. or Mrs. Hanson here. Give me 1 second. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and give him a call. And I'm going to start running comps. Looks like you made an offer at 50. I don't know what the comps are yet, but we'll see.
Good morning. This is Tamika.
Hey, good afternoon, Tamika. My name's Steven. I saw your listing you had there on Fifth Avenue. Are you still accepting offers for this?
The seller is still accepting offers, yes. No sight unseen offers.
Right. I saw that. A couple questions. What does access look like? And then until what date are you guys accepting offers?
Well, it's active on the market. We don't have a deadline for offer dates.
Okay.
Are you an agent or a buyer?
No, I'm a buyer. We actually are buying one in Crystal River, not too far away from this one. And I just came across this one, but I noticed it had a lot of damage. Was this flood damage as well?
Yes, it's flood damage as well as it needs a roof and an AC.
Okay, it needs a roof and an AC, and then it looks like it needs a full gut renovation. How's the electric and plumbing?
I have had no inspections on it, so I can't tell you the status of those. I mean, the electric is on, and as far as I know, there's no issues with the plumbing. However, I've not occupied it.
Okay. How, is the seller flexible in the price considering the condition it's in? Are they pretty firm at that or?
They're pretty firm to that pricing. We've had multiple offers on it.
Mhm.
It sounds like, are you working with a realtor?
I am not. No,
You've got another house under contract?
Yeah, not too far. The other one's actually, it's closer to the park over here. I think it's on 9th. I gotta check with the team, but
Okay.
like 2 minutes away from this one. And my partner sent me this one, but this one needs a lot more work. I just didn't know how flexible the homeowner was on the price, you know. We can drive by and take a look at it.
Yeah, I know that they're holding a little bit closer to it, but I can't say how flexible because I don't know.
Okay. Do you think if we looked at it, we're going to look at it no matter what, but do you think if we were around 50, that's something that they may be open to?
It's already been turned down much higher than that.
Oh, wow. So it's been turned down much higher.
Mhm.
Where do you think I need to be at so I don't waste his time or your time?
Okay, I don't I can't answer that question. I don't have a amount that the seller is willing to accept. They're holding pretty close to that asking price.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only information that I can give you. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. No problem. If you can give me a good email, I can send over an offer, and then I guess what
Again, no sight unseen offers.
that's I was gonna ask you that next. If it's possible, we could take a look at it this weekend.
Yeah. You can schedule an appointment with your realtor to take a look at it, yes, but you have to see it first before you can present an offer per the seller's instructions.
Like I mentioned, I don't have a realtor. We represent ourselves. Is it on the lockbox?
Okay, I asked the question and unfortunately I did not hear the answer from you. I can have our buyer specialist reach out to you to schedule an appointment.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
And your full name, please?
My name's Steven Morales. I'm with Arc Equity Acquisitions.
And is this the best number to reach you, Steven?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll get with our buyer specialist and have him return a call.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Has been sitting for 2 months because she doesn't know how to talk to people as far as investors. This property's been sitting for 56 days. I know she's not obligated to tell me the price, the homeowner has to be at, but I know we have to be above 50, and I know they're willing to do below 80. So you want to feel people out. But she doesn't really seem too interested in selling this property. I mean, an agent would go above and beyond, trying to make it work, and again this and again that. She seems like she's just treating it just like whatever, which I don't think is right. And that's why it's just sitting there now. As far as the comps, we actually have one under contract. Let me pull this up here real quick. We have one. We're actually doing a JV with one of you guys on Northeast 9th Street, which is not, I think it's even walking distance. But that property is in way better shape. This one, let me take a look at the bedroom bathroom square footage on this. 21120 square feet. And it's definitely a fixer-upper, so that's all I'm going to look at. Okay, so here's one. Here's one. Yeah, you know what? There's other properties that sold for more than they're asking, but not in this condition. Not in this condition. I do think we have to be closer to 50, really. I think that's more or less where we have to be at, especially if it needs everything. And then Crystal River, I don't know how familiar you guys are with that area. It's a very touristic area, but the houses that sell more are actually closer to the bay, Kings Bay. And that area, Airbnb is great with that area. But you don't see too many flips there. It's more buy and holds. This one, that's why this one's just going to sit here, and she's not investor friendly. So, don't spend too much time on somebody. Give an offer. You always want to give an offer. Even if they say no, you give the offer anyway. Because let's say they accept an offer higher and then they don't close. Well, they're always going to go back to, well, what offers do we have? Okay. Let's go to the next one. What else we got here? So that was Crystal River. All right. Somebody submitted a bunch in Tulsa. I think somebody dumped their whole CRM in here. All right. That's great. Let's start off with this one on somebody submitted one San Antonio, Texas. Just want to make sure this isn't one we called before. Remember, when I call these leads, I'll state the street name. And if you say, hey, that's my lead I submitted, and they don't answer, just resubmit it. I have called this one, and I did speak with this one, actually. And they wanted way too much. Now, this one, let's go to this one in Tulsa that's next on the list. It looks like this is off market. We love us some off market properties. I think that's the way to go. And I posted something about that the other day, on market versus off market in the community. December of this year, December? Yeah, December this year will officially mark 10 years of me in this business. I've learned a lot more from my mistakes than the things that are working. And when I give you guys advice on something, it's not like I just came up with this. Like I've made the mistake, and I want to tell you what works and doesn't work, because the landscape of this business is not the same. The tools and resources and the way you market to homeowners, even talk to homeowners in 2015 is not the same as 2025. That's actually a good video idea. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to give you guys things I've learned over 10 years in this business so you can pick up a thing or two and then, take it how you want it. But yeah, I always say off market, there are tools coming out that you can start, making more offers on market stuff. But I always love off market more. You just have more control over the whole process, negotiation, timeline. Let's take a look at this one. This is on South 66th East Avenue in Tulsa. All right. This property looks good. Remember, properties that are nice, you want to approach them the same way. No matter what list you pull, no matter the situation, you always want to start off the conversation the same regardless. You want them to open up to you. Okay? And keep dropping your questions. I'll get to them here shortly. I just want to make sure I call some of these leads. So this one looks pretty good. So what's the story with this one? Fair condition. Kitchen needs updating. Carpet throughout the home needs more than a power wash. Carpet stains are deep. Wallpaper and bathroom needs to be removed. It looks like a medium rehab. Okay. Reason for selling. Seller does not want to do any rehab on the property, and he welcomes investors to take over. Nice. I spoke with Jim. He was very informative and very nice. He said Sean was out for the week. He said Sean was out for the week. He said property is good as rental, but floor needs more than carpet cleaner. Since you said you were looking for properties in Tulsa, I went on the hunt. I hope you will love this house. Awesome. Well, I'm not looking for houses for myself, right, to flip. And by the way, like any flips that I do or a company does have to be very light rehabs. And right now I'll only do flips that we take down in the Tampa area. Other than that, everything else we'll just assign. So, but I can help you sell this stuff. I mean, our team crushes it with the dispo. So let's take a look at this. So let's give them a call. Let me pull up the number here. It looks like it's off market, so that's good. All right. Here's a seller's phone number. Luckily, I have a Tulsa phone number we can call from here.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
Spoke with Sean, and then you spoke with Jim. I'm going to call this number one more time, and I'll give you an opinion of what you can, what you should offer. They're asking 220. It's too high.
Hello?
Hey, Jim.
This is Sean.
Oh, Sean. Okay. My name is Steven. I think you spoke with my partner a while back about the property you're looking to get an offer on South 66th.
We're already under contract.
What's that?
We're under contract.
Oh, you're under contract. When is it expected to close?
I just went under contract, so probably a month.
Okay, perfect. All right. I can check in with you in a month. Just out of curiosity, what did you end up selling it for?
I can't see it.
What's that?
I can't share that at this
Okay,
time.
no problem. Are you still accepting backup offers, or you're pretty confident these people are going to close?
No, yeah, we're confident.
Okay, no problem. Well, we'll check in a month. Hopefully it closes. If not, I'd like to be a backup offer.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Yep. Bye.
So let's take a look here. I'll always ask. I don't expect them to tell you what it's under contract for, but some people will tell you, some people won't. You should never get offended. Be unoffendable. All right, so let's look up this property. Something I do take a look at whenever you're negotiating with homeowners. You do want to look at the price that they bought it at and see if there's any equity in it. Okay, and I use PropStream for that information. So let me click details. Okay, so you can kind of see here. Let's go over here. It doesn't say. It says they have 100% equity, which is great, though. Okay. Transaction history. When did you submit this? Let me see. They're asking way too high, though. 220. It's too high. It doesn't look that bad. And it could be a great creative finance deal. You know, even if they're not accepting backup offers. So remember, when it's under contract, it does not mean it's sold. I like to sometimes talk to the homeowner, depending how they react. You notice, like, I can't tell you that, right? So then I'm going to switch it to, okay, well, that's great. What did you end up selling it for? I can't tell you that, right? So you want to make sure you follow up. It's supposed to go one under contract, just one under contract, and they're supposed to close in about a month. I always cut the follow-up time in half. So check back in 2 weeks and see, hey, Sean, you know, we spoke not too long ago. I just want to see if everything's still on track to close. You guys will be surprised how many of these deals that sold do not close. And, you know, for a variety of reasons. Was there a price drop? Maybe they couldn't get access to the property. Maybe they had trouble selling it. The good thing is that this is off market. So I don't know how you came across this one, but there's a lot less competition when it's off market. Okay. Now, let me tell you real quick what I think you should offer them. Because if it's in good shape, which it looks like it's in great shape from the outside, the last time this picture was taken, let me see here. How many this is this is about 1,800 square feet. Okay. Let's see what okay, this is a good one. Here's one that sold for about $298. Check this one out. This is actually very comparable. Take a look at this property right here. So this is a full renovation. So this sold for hold on, it says 319 here. Oh no, it's pending. Well, it went pending under 30 days, just about 30 days, so that's good. But they bought this for 181. All right. They're probably going to get close to this price. I think, depending how much work it needs, if it's a medium rehab, I mean, I think your MAO should be 170. I see another one that sold for 175 and they flipped it for 315. All right. Sometimes these properties, they don't have photos on Zillow. So what you can do, usually realtor.com does a great job. Like on Zillow, I looked up this property and it didn't have any photos, right? But on here, you can see the photos. So I always take a look at these things because the highest sold properties are more likely renovated, which is definitely renovated. And this sold for 315. And then looks like, well, they sold it for 315, then this pending now for 340. Interesting. So, yeah, but I think you have to be around 170 is where I think you got to be at. So follow up for 2 weeks. The property is not sold until they're closed and funded. Even when I follow up with people, hey, did you close on the property? No, they didn't. Or, hey, did you sell the property? Well, it's under contract. If it's the first time I'm speaking to somebody and I ask them if the property's sold and they say yes, I always follow up with, that's great. You mean close and fund it, right? Well, no, it's under contract, right? Well, now I know in my investor lingo that it's not really sold. Okay, so you get the point. Let's move on to the next one. I do want to call some lead house leads here. All right, let's call this next one here. I'll check this one off. A lot of them in Tulsa. Here's one in Dallas. All right, Harwood Drive in Dallas, Texas. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me put this up. There's actually a few Harwood Drives. I don't think this is the right address. Let me see what you have in the notes. I think you have the incorrect address. Complete rehab needed, kitchen, bathrooms, 100,000. Realtor selling for investor. Realtor selling. Okay, Carla Realtor asked me if we could do. So I think this is a condo. Reason for selling, realtor selling for her investor. So I think this was well, I don't think it's actually the right address. I'm assuming it's a condo because it pulls up a building here downtown. Yeah, I think you put in the wrong address. So just double check on that. Let's go to the next one here. Who submitted this one? Pamela. If you just want to resubmit it with the correct address, I don't see anything come up with that address. It pulls up like a commercial building. But then it says kitchen, bathroom. It looks like the descriptions for a house. All right, so we'll get back to that one. If you want to resubmit that, let's look at Memphis, Tennessee. Let's take a look at this one. This looks like it's off market as well. I don't know which house it is, but this one on the left looks rough. And I don't even think that's the property. And, whenever you're looking at these properties, I think it's this property, but I like this one better. So make sure you skip trace that one as well. But I think we're talking about this property here. So we'll just stick to this one. All right, fair condition. Not sure, just talking to him. Reason for selling free up cash. He has 26 total and has sold 11 so far and is looking to sell the 4 I submitted. May have more to sell. Perfect. What about his asking price? Did not give. All right, no problem. Well, let's give them a call. Mr. Donnie. Oh, you actually submitted a lot of properties that he owns. He looks like he's trying to liquidate a lot of properties, which is good. And, when somebody says, hey, I have a portfolio, I'm just trying to offload, try to get them, if they're organized, they'll usually have a spreadsheet that they'll send to you. Because those portfolio properties are not like, a 7-minute conversation. What you want to do is ask them for a spreadsheet or list of properties via email. You want to take your time and run your comps for each one, combine it as an MAO, see if they're, open to first selling them individually. Some people want to sell them as a package. They're going to be a little bit more tricky to sell as a package. If they're performing, some hedge funds will take a look at it. But let's take a look at this one. I'm going to give him a call. What's his name? Donnie. All right. Call from my regular number today. And then I'm going to start running some comps on it.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're
Let's call one more time. There's a lot. Landlords are paying. Let me see. How many square feet?
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone.
They didn't pick up, but I'm gonna tell you what you should offer next time. You know, I'm still gonna try to help you guys, even if they don't pick up the phone. I want to tell you more or less where I think you should be at. Now this property is a 21768 square feet. Yeah, I mean, there's a property that's a 21712 that sold for 12,000 there, and that's a 2-1. That does make a big difference. 2 1s and 3 1s. Let me do one more thing here. Man, this is all over the place. I mean, I see 2 comparable properties. They sold at $12,000. So you probably have to be at $5,000. Some of these markets you have to be really low because the price point, even of the ARV, is low. All right. If it's in good shape, actually look at this. This property, I'm looking at a comp right here. This is 1444 square feet, but looks like they closed on it for 41 and resold it for 62. And this was a frame house. Okay. I think it was this one. All right. So somebody bought this for 40 and it's, double the size. I think a good starting point is probably 5 to 10. Let me see. Yeah. I see one that sold for 20,000. Yeah, 5 to 10 is where you got to be at in this area. I'm looking at 2 1s, 700 square feet. That's where you got to be at. All right. All right. Let's see what Lead House has here. All right. Let's see. Wayhaven Drive. Wayhaven Drive. Remember, offers, offers, offers. When you're new, you should focus on offers. Well, what's this one? West Plains, Missouri. All right. Oops, hold on a second. West Plains, Missouri. And, some people have sent me portfolios. They spoke with the homeowner and they want to sell like a whole portfolio of properties. You also remember with those properties, you need a much longer inspection period. Those are not, quick properties where you just have even a month is not enough, right? So there is photos of this property. Let me see if I could pull this up on Zillow. We have a few novations going on in these kinds of markets. Oh, here we go. Off market. Awesome. This house looks like it's in good shape. I wonder why there's photos though. Maybe they just took it off the market. Let me see. Oh, this was 2017. They took it off. All right, cool. So this is the house. All right. And let's see the information that they put here. The house needs some work, city taxes, and price of mortgage versus income. All right, so taxes and price of mortgage is increasing. All right. So let's give them a call. Before I run any comps, I'm going to call them. Let me just transfer these notes, and then I'll go ahead and call this person. Our photos here. So these photos.
This is Jason. I'm on the phone right now. If you wouldn't mind leaving your name and number.
He talks fast. Let me call him back. Okay, so
Hello.
hey, Jason,
Yes.
my name's Steven. I think you filled out a form on our site not too long ago about your property you're looking to get an offer on in Wayhaven.
Oh, yeah. What'd you guys come up with?
Did I catch it a good time?
Yeah, well, I got about 10 minutes. What do you got?
Great. I just want to ask you a few more questions so I can see what I can. Okay.
All right, shoot.
All right, perfect. So I got this pulled up here. This is let me see if I could pull up doesn't say how many bedrooms and bathrooms it has. How many bedrooms and bathrooms does the property have?
Well, wait a minute. It should. Where are you pulling out public information from? Because it should say that. If
It's
you're pulling up the appraisal report or something.
Yeah, on the tax records, it just says 1,608 square feet, built in 1970, but the bedroom bathroom is blank for whatever.
Well, that's wrong. That's incorrect because it was built in 1973 and it's 1,900 square feet. So
Oh, that's good.
maybe you got the wrong one. Yeah. Anyway, it's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. Well, 3 bedrooms and a back room that can be used either an office or a bedroom, however you want to put it.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. How old is that?
And it's
Roof?
got solar on it. Mm-hmm.
How old is that roof and AC?
The AC is, the heater is probably 9 years old, but the AC unit is only 2 years old. It's brand new because I just bought it.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
And the roof is probably 10 years old as well. It's probably getting pretty thin.
Okay.
Yeah.
The bathrooms, kitchen, are they original? Have they been updated recently?
Oh, they were updated when we moved in here 10 years ago. So they were updated in 2016. Let's just go with that. 'Cause that's, I mean, yeah.
I pulled it up on Zillow. I see some photos here. Does it still look anything like the photos?
If you pulled it up on Zillow, the only thing different should be the front porch. Does the front porch show white columns?
Let's see here.
You got it on Zillow, it should show the front porch.
Yes, it does. White columns.
Yeah, those white columns are gone, and they're now New Orleans style black wrought iron columns.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's my wife. You know, she likes New Orleans.
It's a good look.
But most of the pictures you'll see on Zillow are pretty much the same, except obviously average furniture differences and whatnot. But yeah, they're 90% the same. And that should show you pictures of that back room as well. It'll be the one with the fireplace tube in the back.
The fireplace in the back. Okay.
The chimney coming down out of the ceiling with nothing on it. It's plugged off. It's been plugged off since we moved in here because we can't figure out what to put in there.
Okay. Got it. What kind of time are you looking to sell?
I don't know yet. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the whole problem with all this mess. That's why we haven't put it on the market yet, because we're still kind of in limbo trying to figure out. We got to get some things in order first. But what kind of offer? I mean, what are we looking at here?
Yeah. So I see on the form you put 300,000. And I always
that was to the open market.
Right. I always tell people we're an investment company. We're not always the best fit. I don't want to waste your time and
right. Well, here's the deal. I got to have at least. I got to have at least because I owe $223,000 against it for equity, and I got to have $30,000 for the solar that's on the roof. So.
Oh, there's solar on the roof.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you won't find that on Zillow because there's 30 some solar panels up there with a Okay. Do what? Oh yeah, and there's also a 30 by 30 shop. Won't be on Zillow either. We put it up. It's paid for. It's 30 by 30, hardwired, concrete floors, the whole works, 100 amp service.
Got it.
Two sliding doors, big shop.
Got it. Okay. So let me take a look here. The way we come up with our offers, I look at bedroom, bathroom, square footage, year bill. I always like to confirm because sometimes the tax records are inaccurate.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
1,900 square feet, you said. Now that's heated square footage, right? Like livable?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
There's two car garage stowed in there too. In between that extra room is off behind the garage, which it has its own entry and exit door. It's weird. I don't know why they did it that way. Me
Yeah.
and my wife never have figured it out. There's also a covered back porch that is a covered patio.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to go measure it, but I mean it's out there with the rest of it, and it's on about a 3/4 of an acre lot. So
Yeah. Okay. So you need about, I mean, to pay off what you owe, you need about 253 at least to break even.
to pay what I owe, if you didn't take the solar, I'd like to have 257 because that's what it appraises at, because that would give me enough cash profit to go get another residence that we're looking at
Oh, without the solar.
after I paid off. Yeah, that's without the solar. It's 257. It appraises without the solar 257
What's a
or
solar?
252,
like?
whatever. 30 some odd solar panels and an inverter that goes into the power box. It's not very intrusive at all. I mean, it's on the back roof. If you didn't know it was there, you'd never see it.
Yeah. No.
It worked. I mean, when everybody else's light bill's $400, ours is 100. So, I mean,
Wow.
there's two. Yeah. Oh yeah. It works. I have two teenagers that live every light in the house on. Plus I've got like oodles and gobs of computer crap on all the time. Typical. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you pay monthly on it? $100, you said?
What, my solar? No, I paid you 28.
Okay, 228.
And that's my fault because they saw me coming. Had I known that was going to be that long of a deal, I would have probably passed on it. But I'm glad I didn't. Some days I wish I had it. Just depends on what time of year it is.
Yeah.
You're going to make bank on solar in the summertime. In the wintertime, you just kind of break even. But in the summertime is when it pays for itself. Because I can run my AC, if I wanted to, I can run that AC down to 72 degrees with the windows open, and it's going to keep up with the bill to about $111.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've got photostatic proof of that with the light bills from the city because I'm connected to the city's grid. So
Yeah. So I'll tell you right now, cash offer, I don't want to waste your time. I'd be way less. But
you're not, brother.
I have
You're
two
not.
other options for you. Let me know if any of these might make
Shoot.
sense for you. The second option
Shoot.
is what we call terms, where we can pay closer to full market value if you're open to taking payments on the property, like a down payment, monthly payments.
Well, that's interesting. How would that work exactly? Because I'd have to have enough to cover the mortgage.
Exactly. That leads to my next question. Do you know about how much is left exactly in the mortgage?
100 and oh shoot. I'd have to look it up. I know the one loan was just taken out. The one loan's like 47,000, and the other one I want to say is 190, maybe 192, something like that. It's all together. It's like 223,000. So if you split it between the two loans, yeah, I mean it's a little bit.
Okay. And
My mortgage.
go ahead.
My mortgage payment is like almost $1,700 a month, give or take.
Okay, 17 a month.
So I mean, yeah.
Does that include
Hence the reason we went out of town.
does that include taxes and insurance?
Yes, everything. Yes, taxes, insurance, everything. Escrow, the whole works,
Okay. This property,
and homeowners insurance.
yeah, it says it'll rent it says market rent is around 1,200. So I don't know if that may or may not, probably won't work, but we do. I think the best option is option 3. Let me know. I know you have to think about what you'd like to do, but option 3, we do this with a lot of properties that are in good shape like yours. It's called our retail program. And the way it works is it's very similar to, let's say, if you listed with an agent, except you don't pay any closing costs or commissions. The only downside is if you go that route, it could take between 30 to 90 days, depending how many days on market. But I think that'd be the best way to get the highest price possible.
So, what do you act like a realtor agent or what? I don't understand. Explain.
Yeah, so we have investor-friendly agents in the area. So let's say we offer you, I don't know, let's say hypothetically 250, right?
Okay.
So you're going to net 250. Now, we work with an investor-friendly agent in the area. They'll list it on the market, but the biggest difference between us and a traditional agent is that we also market to landlords, flippers, contractors, other agents.
Right. Everybody.
We're able
Right.
to collect a lot more offers through our network, and we cover the closing costs, fees, and commissions. So whatever our offer is to you is net what you're going to walk away with. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So if we were to go with that,
Mhm.
we would no longer be financially responsible for this property on paper. So
Correct.
I could go to another lender and say, look, I don't own anything. My debt to income ratio is back down to normal.
Mhm.
Yada yada.
That's correct.
That's very interesting.
Yep. Now I'd have to crunch some numbers and see if the property qualifies. I don't want to tell you yes, but I think that was the best option. Considering as solar, sometimes that process is a little bit differently. But I think we can.
Well, I can take that. So I can take that solar with me if you need
it's
to.
transferable.
Well, it should be. It's in my name, and I'm paying on it. I don't guess they care where it's at, as long as they get their monthly fee.
Yeah, exactly. No, that makes things a lot easier then. What company is it with?
Good Leap.
Okay. Perfect.
It's out of Sun Solar out of Springfield, but the bank is Good Leap. So yeah.
Got it.
Now, if you boys want to pay that solar separate, we can write that as a separate rider. So to hypothetically say you wanted $250 for the house, we can write that solar as a separate $30,000 rider for whoever wants it. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
It matters not to me. Or I can get a hold of Good Leap and we can drop a contract. You can take over my $228 a month payments. I care not. Matters not. My only issue with any of this is our debt to income cannot show that we own this property and we can no longer be financially responsible for it in any way, shape, or form, which means if you do this, then that means once we close, we're done with it. If somebody trashes it, it burns down, whatever, it's not on us. And we no longer have insurance on it. It shows on paper we no longer own it. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, sir.
Can you send me like a sample contract
Yeah.
to cover what we've talked about so I can show my wife in black and white? Because I can explain it all day long, but a sample contract that's not, just what I said, a hypothetical sample contract that you would send us that we were going to actually do this. This is what the paperwork would look like.
Yes, sir. I'll email you a blank agreement, and then I'll email you kind of a little breakdown of exactly what I just told you. That way you and your wife can kind of review it together. Take your time with it.
Awesome, brother. What's your name again?
My name's Steven. I'm with ARC.
Hey, Steven. Yeah, okay, cool, man.
When's a better
ARC.
time? I'll send that over here shortly. When's a better time I can call you back?
Lord, I don't know, brother. I got to go to St. Louis Tuesday. I tell you what, if you give me your direct phone number, I can call you back when I get done because I got a lot of looking over.
Perfect. This is your cell phone?
Yes, the only number we got anymore.
This is my number. I'll text you my name and email, and then I'll email you some information shortly, okay?
All right, man. You got my email address?
Yes, I have it. Let me just confirm it real quick. I have Jason Fish.
Right. That's me, the number 11 at gmail.com.
That's it. Yep.
Awesome. And we're looking at the retail buyer option, huh?
I think that's the best option, especially with the debt to income ratio. The terms is out the window. The retail buyer program, we're able to get you the highest price possible. And and
with that big shop over there, that ought to help a little bit. Somebody surely, that shop ought to help us sell just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that shop's 30 foot by 30 foot with 10-foot ceilings and concrete floors. It's got power in it.
Mm-hmm. If we wanted to take a look at the property, is that possible to do maybe sometime next week?
Man, I'll tell you what. Let me talk to my wife first, and I'll review your paperwork.
Sure.
And I'll pass it through my real estate attorney friend of mine that I've got just to see, because this is my first time ever dealing with this, and you have to understand I have to do my due diligence and research. Plus, I don't want my wife beating me over the head,
No, yeah. Okay, no problem. Yeah, we're happy to send
appreciate it, brother.
All right, have a great weekend.
I appreciate it, man.
I'll send that here shortly.
You as well, sir.
Thanks,
Steven. Bye-bye.
Bye. What a nice guy. What a great lead. Again, where do you think that came from? I don't know. I keep saying this. I came from Lead House 365. So what would we do with this, right? So this is why we give people three options. The cash offer may not always work. The thing is with these solar properties, it always throws a wrench. Solar properties are harder to sell because of the lien and all that stuff. And sometimes depending on what your investor wants to do, right? I was selling a property in Tampa and the investor did not want the solar on it. The homeowner paid it off, but it will affect what they want to do with the resale, right? They were going to use an Airbnb. This one in particular, okay, I'd have to look at the comps, But I mean, the property, if he says it looks the same except for the columns by the front, right? He said they painted this or whatever. This house is in good shape. And then he said that he can take the solar panels with him. So I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. All right. So when I'm looking at these, I want to take my time. I don't want to say, yeah, you're going to get this. And, this is how it's going to work. I explained to him the process, but I always want to get people on the hook. He was actually very interested in it. Listen, I'm not an expert. I'm not a creative finance expert or novation expert, but I mean, lately, the way I'm pitching the novations is actually working very well. People are open to it. We tell them that it's very similar to as if you list it with an agent, except you don't pay closing costs or commissions. But it could take between 30 to 90 days. So I do want to let them know that we are not the buyer, but we can help you sell the property through an investor-friendly agent, and then we list the property, right? So I'd have to double check and see. I get my hypothetical example. I'd have to double check and see what I think it would sell at, because when you're looking at these novation type plays, you want to look at, well, what's active, what's pending, how many days on market. All that stuff is important. And then I'm going to have to crunch the numbers on the solar, like with or without. He says it's transferable, so that'll actually deduct it. If I heard him correctly, I'll have to listen again, but he said there's about 47 or 30. No, there's 40. It was 30. I think that the solar was 30 or something like that. I think we can work with it. We'll see. The terms wouldn't work. The average rent is around $1,200. His monthly payment is around $17. So that wouldn't work, but he's open to it. So now the next step is I'm going to email him. My name and then a breakdown of exactly what I just told him. That way him and his wife can review it. And when you're working with people that it's their very first time selling a property, they're very cautious, as they should be. You don't want to hesitate, right? If he wants his attorney to review it, hey, no problem. Have your attorney review it. Attorneys look at our agreements all the time. They find nothing wrong with it. And if they do, I want them to redline what their problem is and see if it's doable, right? Because we do want to make sure we have an inspection period. Attorneys usually find nothing wrong. Our attorney drafted up our purchase contract. It's got to be, both ways, though. It's got to be both ways. The homeowner's got to be happy and comfortable, and the deal's got to make sense to us. So that was a great lead. And that was brought to you by none other than Lead House 365. Reach out to them. I think I'm going to start doing kind of like last week's Deal Desk. I brought them on here. I might start doing a monthly thing or a weekly thing with them just so you guys can see. But awesome. That was a great lead. Let's answer a few questions. What questions do you guys have for me? Let's see. First one by single line versus multi-line. What would you recommend for cold calling? I would 110% recommend a multi-line dialer. Cold calling works, but you have to dial a lot of leads. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Let's say you pull a list of 10,000 records, okay? And then you're going to skip trace that list with a good service provider that gives you between 5 to 10 phone numbers. All right, so you're going to have 100,000 phone numbers to call. I've never tested this. I've never single dialed 100,000 phone numbers, but it's going to take you a while. With a multi-line dialer, if somebody's working 8 hours a day, that should last you about 30 to 45 days. Like if you have 10 to 15,000 skip trace leads with a multi-line dialer, right? That'll last you a good 30 to 45 days, even when you start recycling it. Because remember, not everybody's going to pick up the first time, okay? So when you recycle the list, your contact ratio is going to decrease. But, it just depends also like what your marketing budget is. If you're starting out, you got to do what you got to do. And also depends how many numbers you're dialing. Like if you're driving around doing virtual driving for dollars or physical driving for dollars in person, I guess, whatever you want to call it, just get Google Voice, which is free, the personal one, not the business one, the personal one. It's free. And then just use True People Search to skip trace. That's what I would recommend starting out. All right. What's up, Mike? Yeah, that agent was not very helpful. Word of the day, unoffendable. Yeah, my pastor actually told me that. He came up with unoffendable. That roof looks a little aged. Good lead here. Seller wants a sample contract. Yes. Good old southern boy. Yep. How do you structure innovation leads? Well, just like I did right there. I mean, I don't want to sound as robotic as possible, but what's been working, let me see some real quick. We have one in Iowa. What was the other one? One in Tulsa, and we just got a third one in I'm talking about innovations, by the way. We have one in Iowa, we have one in Oklahoma, and we just got one signed yesterday in Arkansas. I do that with property. I mean, the way you structure them is kind of very similar to what I just said. The retail buyer program. All right. So, what does that consist of? Well, it's quite simple, right? It's very similar to as if maybe I'll put it together like a short script, because I do have a script, but I really customize it where it just sounds a little bit more natural. For me, I always find myself going off script in a way where it just sounds normal and it just sounds like a conversation. That's how it should be. A script is just meant for bullet points. But what I've been saying lately that has got us a few innovation deals is say, hey, we have a retail buyer program, and I think your house might qualify. And the way it works is it's very similar to as if you listed the property on the open market. The only difference is we would cover your closing costs and commissions. All right. But it could take between 30 and 90 days. And then they may ask a few questions here and there. And then if I have to explain a little bit more, I'll say the way we're different, right? Because why wouldn't they do this? Why wouldn't he hire an agent to do that? Maybe he doesn't want to deal with an agent, which is probably the reason he filled out the form in the first place. Maybe he doesn't pay closing costs or commissions or fees, or maybe the house needs a little bit of work he doesn't want to, do, right? So if we take that burden off his plate, right, and we handle all the paperwork, we handle all the negotiations, all the, reasonable access, and we cover his closing costs and we cover his commissions, what does he have to lose? He just sits back, we collect offers, and at closing, he just gets it. And I always tell people that's how we're a little bit different. We're different than a traditional agent. Like, he can hire an agent. He could look up an agent on Google. Maybe that agent is not investor friendly, kind of like the agent I spoke with earlier. All right. Some agents don't even know what novations are. Funny short story. I was calling some agents in Oklahoma a couple of days ago, and it was in an investor group. And I asked the agent, "Hey, are you familiar with novations and assignments?" She's like, "What is that, a company?" And in my head, I'm like, "Oh man, this isn't going to go well." But anyways, you want to make sure that you tell them the way we're a little bit different is that not only do we market to regular homeowners, we also market to other flippers, landlords, contractors, agents, whatever, right? So we have a larger pool of buyers. Okay. Let's see here. I have some questions in the private chat, which you guys on YouTube won't see. You have to be in the community. Let's see here. Where are you at? All right. What kind of calling service are you using, and is that the one you prefer? So I'm actually I'm not using calling service. We're not doing any cold calling. We're not using a cold calling service, if that's what you're asking. In regards to like the dialer I'm using to make these calls, it's out of Go High Level. Okay. And then you guys can hear it pretty good, but that's what I use. The dialer is built in the CRM. What if they do tell you what it's under contract for? Do you counter offer? So I don't. I just note. I take a mental note of that. So you were asking that question about earlier. I'm assuming that call. If somebody says, "Oh, it's sold," oh, is it, did you get closed and funded? No, it's under contract. We just went under contract yesterday. Perfect. When is it expected to close? In 30 days. Great. Just out of curiosity, what did you end up selling it for? Notice I said the word selling because I don't want to say, if you say what's under contract for, it may sound completely different. Some people, it's not really going to matter. But when I ask that, they usually don't tell me. If they do, I say, okay, no problem. Now, sometimes they'll tell me a price where it's like really low, right? Like they negotiate a great price. And I'll tell them, well, I actually think we can match or beat that. When it's like, I don't want to interfere. I just want to let them know. Because sometimes they don't close, right? Sometimes they don't close. But I don't counter offer if it's under contract in the first place. I can't do anything. I can plant a seed in their head that I think I could have actually offered you a little bit more, right? Maybe I'm late to the party, but I could have offered you a little bit more, okay? And then I follow up with them 2 weeks before the property is supposed to close, okay? What's your payment on closing an Novation deal? What do you pay an agent? What do you make? And what does everybody else, what do you pay everyone else that may be helping closing the deal? Great question. So for novations, the agent commission, 3%, 3%, closing costs. Sometimes the property needs repair, but what I do is I look at properties I don't look at ARV. Novations have nothing to do with ARV. When I'm structuring the novations, how the payouts are going to be, I look at, okay, similar properties sold for this price. Okay, I'm going to deduct 10%, all right, and then the profit we want to make, all right, 10% for closing cost fees. This does not include like repairs. We try not to do any repairs. If we need to do repairs and it's worth it, we'll do it, but I try to avoid that. I mean, one of the novations we had in Iowa, the guy, we didn't even ask. He just like steam cleaned the whole house. I'm like, that's awesome. Helped us out a little bit. We still need to get offers on that. But yeah, I just 90%, right? So like, let's say houses in the area are selling for 100,000 in similar shape, renovated 200,000, but as is condition 100,000. Okay, you deduct 10%, we're at 90. Let's say we want to make 20K, we're at 70. Okay, that's kind of how we do it. And novations isn't something that I'm an expert at, and in no way, shape, or form. I'm just going to share what's working. Whatever I'm telling the homeowners is working. And then once it's under contract, right, with the novation documents, we get an investor-friendly agent and they start pushing it out. But we want to create a VIP experience with the seller. We don't want the seller asking us, what's the status? How are things going? We want to give them an update, usually once a week. And then we do want to get reasonable access as well. That is a big thing, because if it's vacant on Lockbox, great. If it's not, we have to start coordinating reasonable access. Novations, is that a new restaurant? Yeah, that's what I should have asked her. Actually, it's a restaurant. It's not a business. It's actually a restaurant. Okay. I got this text from a seller. Okay. What else? Let's see. What other questions we got? Great nuggets here. Thanks. You're welcome. Great questions. I want to call a few more. That was a good one. So I'm going to write here, send Mr. Fish email about retail buyer program. If I told him novation, it's just going to confuse him more. Retail buyer program. Okay. And it didn't seem like he was in a rush. That's another thing. That particular option does not usually work with people that are in a rush. All right, let's see. We got one, Dogwood Lane. What else we got? Dogwood Lane. This is also a lead house one. I'm going to take a look at here. This one is in Robbins, Tennessee. So what's up with this one? All right. Well, some of these are in rural areas. I don't even like talk a cash offer. That's actually how I got the last one. The last one in Arkansas. Somebody sent that to me. That was a JV somebody sent to me, and they found that on Zillow for sale by owner. I'm like, man, they have it priced well, and they're taking down the listing. But I didn't even talk a cash offer, because if I got a cash offer, it like there's no comps. The population's like 2,000 people. Okay, those are tough to even flip. If I were to buy the house and flip it, I don't know how long it's going to sit. So those I kind of just go to straight to the novation option. All right, so let's look at the details for this one. Kenny needs work. Reason for selling, job. Well, did he lose his job? Did he get a new job? Is he relocating? I'm going to ask about that. He's asking 150, which is already seems high. People will always want a high number, but you really want to dig into their situation and why they want to sell in the first place. That's where you really get into it. All right, so let's call this person and let's see what I can come up with here. Mr. Terry. Hello.
Hello. What are you into?
Hello.
Oh, I'm not available right now. I'll call you back when I get a chance.
Oh, man, those voicemails sound like he was talking to me for a second. Let me see.
Hello. What are you into? Oh, I'm not available right now. I'll call you back when I get a chance. See you.
Okay. Let's move him over here. Looks like his phone's turned off. I don't know. Let's call this one here Knoxville, Tennessee. Knoxville, Tennessee. Oh, this looks like a good one too. Let's see. All right, so it does have some photos. I don't know how recent they are, but it has some photos. All right. So what's the story with this one? This is a good shape. If it looks anything like this. I think these are very old photos. There's a lot of comps here, which is great. Zestimate 391. The Zestimate doesn't really mean much. I do look at it, but I don't rely on it. You want to look at Zestimates, not rely on Zestimates. All right. Hold on a second. Here's a property. Okay. So, oh, the tree fell down. Let's find out why they want to sell. So in the form, they put asking 400,000, need some work, wanting to travel is the reason for selling. Okay. So they're already asking full market value. I don't know how motivated they are to travel. I just know that they want to travel. That isn't like, that's not going to be, some people aren't really in a rush when they're looking to sell that way. But I do take that, I do keep that in mind. And then I try to build some rapport around it to see, tell me a little bit more about that. Where are you looking to travel? When are you looking to travel? Right? That's really asking how soon are you looking to travel? Let me pull this back up here real quick. Hold on a second. Campbell Station Road. trying to pull up the house. That's so strange. It doesn't come up anywhere on here. Let me just type it in here. 6. All right, that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and call them, see if they pick up in the first place.
Please leave your message for. Sorry, mailbox is full.
Box is full. Call more time. We're uploading a lot more of these calls on the in the community. Let's see if he answers here.
Please leave your message for.
He didn't answer. That's okay. So what I want to do with this one in particular, if somebody is asking a high price, right? Remember, I don't want to judge them based on how much they're asking, but I do keep that in mind because I want to see how much equity they have in it. That's really the reason I want to look at that stuff, because it's kind of gonna determine how I'm gonna negotiate the lead, right? Because I have all this access to the tools, resources right in front of me. Looks like they have 70% equity, which is great. They got this property for $155,000 10 years ago, and it's worth around $404,000, which is great. 70% equity. And are these old listing photos? Yes, they are. That's one. That's from 2015. I always want to confirm the house looks similar. Okay. Awesome. All right, guys. If you are in the community, shoot me a message if you need some help or you want a JV on something. Other than that, I'll be dropping a video on YouTube here soon. It's going to be on, well, I'll just leave it a surprise for you guys. But it's going to be a great video. But I'll see you guys next week. If you need me, reach out to me in the community. Otherwise, I'll see you Friday.